In this video, I'll be walking you through how Assets and Data Manager work within Jira Service Management. Assets is an IT asset and configuration management feature that allows teams to track, manage, and visualize assets and configuration items across their organization. So assets can be hardware like laptops and servers, or software like applications. Assets can even be people and facilities. Basically anything relevant to the organization. An asset is anything your business depends on. Let's take a look at where we can see assets in Jira. Clicking on Assets in the menu, we come to the Asset and Configuration page. Here we can see a list of our object schemas. An object schema is a structure where you define asset types, also called object types, and their attributes. The attributes are the details of the asset. Let's look at the IT employee asset schema to see how assets and their attributes exist in Jira. In our hardware catalog, we see supported laptops. Here we have 3 laptops. Clicking on each will show us the attributes of the asset, the details of the laptop. In these details, we can access other assets such as the manufacturer and the target roles that this laptop can be assigned to. Both the manufacturer and the target roles are assets in themselves. In the Linked Objects panel, we can see a graphic representation of how the asset is linked to other assets. Now let's see how assets can be used in Jira Service Management. We can leverage these assets by allowing users to interact with these assets in the Jira Service Management portal. We'll go to the Help Desk for the IT support project. We want to raise a request for a new laptop for a new hire. Here in the Supported Models drop list field, we can choose from the supported models available. This field is populated from the IT employee asset schema that we were just looking at. We choose this MacBook model, and we see that we have more fields on the portal that also contain assets. We can choose from supported accessories, like a magic mouse. We can also choose some shortcuts to be installed on this laptop before delivering it to the new hire. The request has been submitted via the portal. Now we can switch to the agent view to see the agent experience. Inside this Jira Service Management request, we can see the assets and their attributes. We can see the laptop and its details, as well as the supported laptop accessories and the subscriptions or pre-installed software that we requested for this laptop on the portal. In this view, we also have access to the graphic representation of the asset links like we saw in the object schema view. We can also here see all the open issues that involve this asset. This gives you an audit trail of how this asset is being used inside the organization. Assets and their details can be leveraged using Jira Automation. For example, we can automatically mark a hardware asset as expired when its warranty is ended. Or we can notify an owner of a software asset when the license is about to expire. Let's look at another example from the Jira Service Management portal. In this example, a user needs to report a problem with their monitor. So we choose Report a Broken Asset. This will create an incident in Jira Service Management. When we choose the person who is reporting the incident, a Jira automation rule will populate this field here, and it will populate it with the assets belonging to the reporter. We can choose the monitor belonging to Mitch Davis. Again, going to the agent view, we can see all the details of the asset. You can see the details of the specific monitor belonging to Ms. Davis. In the details of the asset, we can focus on the warranty expiration date. We can see that this monitor is still under warranty. So seeing this information here helps us as an agent to know how we should move forward to resolve this incident of this broken monitor. For instance, having the relevant assets already linked to the Jira agent view allows for quicker root cause analysis and faster resolutions. So how are assets imported into Jira Service Management? Assets can be imported in several ways. There is the CSV import, where you can upload your CSV file and then map the columns to meet the object attributes. This is best for simple spreadsheets or maybe bulk data entry, or possibly for your initial setup when first exploring assets in your Jira application. For more complex data structures or integration, you can use the JSON import. For automated integration from third-party systems such as CMDBs or HR systems, you can programmatically populate assets using the REST API. Jira Assets also supports JDBC connections to import from external databases, as well as LDAP import to pull in your users and their details. Then there is the Discovery import. This uses the Discovery tool, which is a network scanning tool that can be used with or without an agent. It detects hardware and software that is connected to your local network and imports data into assets, all this keeping your assets up to date. Now that I've shown you how assets work in Jira Service Management, I'd like to present a new feature called Data Manager. Data Manager is available in Jira Service Management Cloud Premium and Enterprise. Data Manager allows you to connect and ingest asset data from multiple sources, then cleanse and reconcile this data to ensure it is complete and current before it is imported into schemas for asset management. Data Manager's goal is to remove data redundancy in order to achieve the golden record of an asset. With Data Manager, you connect to the data, then you cleanse and reconcile the data before bringing it into your asset schemas. So connections start with adapters. There are flat file sources like CSV, database sources like SQL and ODBC, and API-based sources to third-party systems. The adapters page is where you create your jobs for Data Manager. Job is a predefined configuration that connects to external sources and copies raw data into Data Manager. Let's look at a job. A job is made up of a data source, so we're using a flat file here. This is where the data is coming from, the object class, where the data is going inside Jira Assets, and then mappings. Mappings are rules that match the source data to the asset object attributes. You can also add transform functions, which are short sections of code added to the job that will work on the raw data. This gives you the ability to convert or can filter data before it is imported. Recent jobs will show all the information for the jobs run. Here is where you can view the raw data versus the transform data. Raw data and transformed data are always kept separate and always available. Should you want to modify any of the transform functions in the job definition, you can do so and then click Transform Request here. This will take the raw data set and apply any new transform functions. The job execution history page shows all jobs run with the adapters client. You can search by date or from several statuses. Analysis in Data Manager allows you to create complex searches on your object classes, save them, and include them in dashboards. But we've seen that the connection starts with adapters and running a job with transform functions to create a raw data set and transform data set. The next step is to cleanse and import the data. On the Cleanse and Import page, we see our data sets ready for cleansing and import. Status here will show you the required actions needed to be done before cleansing and importing the data. Here, we have cleansing rules that help you eliminate missing, unwanted, or duplicate data. There's the mapping. This maps your columns from your transform data set into the attributes in your data manager objects. This data set requires some cleansing. Choose this data set and choose Cleanse. Start the process, and it's successful. From here, you import the data. Data Manager is very flexible, allowing you to ingest any data, cleanse and reconcile the data, and be able to have complete, current, and correct data in Jira.